Crisis, what crisis? Welcome to the second podcast in English from Blitzmarmelade, the podcast of Bordel. Welcome from Marcus.
Hi.
And welcome from me, Alex. Hi. Crisis, what crisis? We feel like we are in a crisis, in a perpetual of crisis at the moment with Corona, war going on, inflation at the moment. So there's a lot of topics there. But how can we behave smart and clever in a crisis as a business, as a company, and a freelancer as a company or a business too? And Marcus, you have done around this topic a lot of research. First of all, I would like to surprise you a little bit. Maybe I don't know if that's the right thing, but let's do it. When we talked about this, you talked about the turkey illusion.
Yes.
And I think that actually fits in your research. So what is the turkey illusion? Tell me.
Well, the turkey illusion is, the turkey in America, and the turkey gets food every day. It's taken care of, and the turkey might believe, oh, my owner really loves me, gives me food, takes care of me, everything is fine. And then one day before Thanksgiving, the pleasant time is over because it gets killed. So that's actually the turkey illusion. You don't realize the threat that is coming, might think, okay, it's going to play out well, everything's going to be fine in the future. And you have the illusion that everything is going to be fine and don't prepare for the deadly risk that might be there, the catastrophic risk that is coming. And that's behind the turkey illusion.
Okay.
It's a bit, like the gray rhino, which is obvious danger, but you don't react.
Okay, I see. I think we come to this when to act. I think it's one of the points that you have there. I mean, crisis. Often the next market leaders often are founded in a crisis somewhere, and if something is a crisis or is a chance, is very much on your own perspective. So you have to embrace the crisis, of course, and you have to be active there. But you took out a very important aspect in an article. We will have a link down there. What can we learn from past crises? I mean, we have now those crises with Corona and everything, but 2008, 2007, I think, was the financial crisis. And even there before, there were like September 11th was a crisis too. So there were like crises before. What can we learn from past crises?
Most important for, first of all, is, of course, we have now everything. We still have COVID. Then there is the war in Ukraine, etc. And it all comes together, which looks definitely extraordinary. But in the end, if we look globally over the last couple of years, we see that actually crises are the norm. So there is a study saying there are 469 recessions globally since 1988. So if we look globally, it's a norm. It's nothing new.
And if I might add one point, if we look at it from a digital perspective, as digital people, I would say, we always have this called VUCA world, whatever the other things are, but it's a volatile world in which we are living in. And there's digitization. Oh yeah, there's the next wave of digitization. Digitization was once to bring in a book to a PDF format. That is now not digitization anymore. So it's constantly evolving, and we have constant business crisis as well when there is no crisis, because the next wave of digitization is coming.
Exactly. And what I started this article with is really looking at some studies that have been analyzing past crisis. And then thinking about, okay, what can you learn from it? And what I think is remarkable is seeing really that one of these studies showed that 9% of the companies in the study didn't survive the crisis. Of the remaining, there were 40% that even 3 years after the crisis performed worse than before the crisis. And only 9% managed to perform better after the crisis than they did before.
And the rest did on the same scale than before the crisis.
Exactly.
Okay.
And of course, then the question is, okay, what did these 9%, the winners, do? And it's
so how do I become a winner, Marcus? How do the people out there become winners?
It's not focusing only on cost cutting. It's also not the one that is doing the bold investments. It's really the ones that manage to balance it. Cut cost where it's needed.
So it's an important thing. You have to cut costs. The standard economic theory is right there. Okay, let's first cut costs where needed and necessary.
Yes, where needed, necessary to survive. But
yes.
At the same time, see how you can already build investments that take you in a brighter future. Analyzing how this future could look like, and then really investing in that. And there is another study that looked especially at this investment part and found out that really those companies that invested in 3 different categories, that was infrastructure, economic skills, and number of employees.
Say it again.
Infrastructure, economic skills, and number of employees. That those companies were more successful than those that didn't invest there. And most important, above all 3 categories. So what you see, for example, in a crisis, companies stopping innovation projects, stopping trainings for employees, etc., that's the wrong direction. This study showed it, that really these economic skills, number of employees, they have been more successful after the crisis. And also a study from Boston Consulting Group went into a similar direction. That's saying, okay, you need to take, even in a crisis, a long-term perspective, because those companies taking a longer perspective, especially investing in R&D and innovation, perform better. They had higher growth rates and stock returns.
So that is a 4th pillar, so to say, invest in R&D and innovation.
Well, I would put it under economic skills, innovation, and R&D.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it does play an important role there.
Definitely.
Yeah. I think you talk as well about, so that is like, you talked about that you have to develop a scenario, some kind of like from the what kind of future you would like to go into a bright future. You have to invest then in the right things with like this like a portfolio thought. Like you have your assets, one is your people, other is your infrastructure. What was the third one again? Tell me.
Well, let's start with a scenario. I think that is most important. By the way, that's our timer.
Okay, then let's start with the scenario in our next episode. Investing is important in a crisis, and we will tell you exactly how the 4 things that Marcus has found out in investing in the next episode. Thanks again for watching Blitzmarmelade. Goodbye from Marcus.
Bye. See you.
And from Alex. Bye. See you.